colors. Would you join me in thanking the Dobbins-Bennett Air Force Junior ROTC and also members of the Dobbins-Bennett High School Marching Band in helping make this celebration wonderful. Good evening. I'm Dwayne Arnold, and it's an honor as principal here at John Adams Elementary School to welcome you to the grand opening and the dedication of Kingsport's newest elementary facility. Many of us have been very honored and proud to work with the individuals and the organizations that have made this possible, that have made a dream a reality for many. Also, it's been a true blessing for me to work with this new community, the boys and girls, parents, teachers, staff members, and the community at large. And I want to thank each of you for all that you have done to make John Adams already a very special place. Before we continue with our celebration, would you join me in remembering one of our students this evening? Jacob Cantrell, a fourth grader here at John Adams, lost his father this past Friday. And if you will, please join me as we remember the Cantrell family with a moment of silence. Thank you. Without further ado, this time I'd like to introduce the Honorable Dennis Phillips, Kingsport's mayor.
Thank you, Dwayne. Valerie, yo, come over here. I'll tell you, I walked in with Valerie, and her enthusiasm for this school was just bubbling all over. I had to put my arm around her and hold her down. So say a word.
This is so wonderful to see something come up from the ground, and see a school like this. I wish I were first grader again, so I could start off. Of course, now you start off in kindergarten, but you all are very fortunate to have this in the community, and I'm just delighted to be a little part of it. Thank you, darling.
I'll tell you, it's excited. If everyone has her enthusiasm and excitement, this school will be a success. I've told this story many times, and I'm going to tell it one more time to bore you with how fortunate I think you are to have at this school to have Dwayne Arnold as a principal. Our son is 28 years old. In the second grade, he had a man teacher. It was the first year for this teacher. And Bobby and I was trying to decide whether we wanted James to have this teacher or not, or this Arnold guy was really what he's cracked up to be. He was young, immature, just out of school, and he hadn't changed a lot, but when James, our son, went to the third grade, we thought the class was going to draft Dwayne Arnold to the third grade. I have never met a teacher that commanded more respect and admiration than Dwayne Arnold. And we have got so many outstanding teachers in this school, but it amazes me to see a Dwayne Arnold come in his first year and then end up at our newest school in Kingsport. Dwayne, I know you'll do a great job. And Dr. Kitzmiller, thanks for putting him in this position. I just want to thank the school board and the community for what you've done here in supporting this school. The Board of Mayor and Aldermen, we actually bit the bullet and made it happen, and we made it happen without, I think, any crosswords or this. Jim Street done an outstanding job building this school, and you just couldn't ask for something to be done more smoothly than this. And we look forward to many, many years of having this great school and this great faculty out here. And thank you all for letting me just be one of the first to welcome you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor Phillips. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Richard Kitzmiller, Superintendent of Schools for Kingsport City Schools.
I think the first suggestion we could do to make this evening special is to invite the people who are standing in the sun. If you want to come on a little bit closer in, it is absolutely fine to come in the shade around the flagpole. And we may not have room for everyone, but those of you who want to move on in closer, that would be perfectly fine. We don't want this enjoyable occasion to be spoiled. Although it's beautiful weather, it is pretty warm especially if you're wearing dark colors. It is indeed a great privilege for us to be here this evening. As folks have mentioned, this is a project we've seen from the beginning. This is a school designed, planned, and organized by the community and for the community. The donation of the land for this and the city staff and the community have worked together in ways that are truly unique. We want to thank the people that were part of that. If you were any part, I'm going to ask for a show of hands in a minute. If you were any part of the charrette design process for the building, or if you were part of the staff and community who helped design the program of the school, would you please just raise your hand and give us a welcome? Thank you. We saw several people here and more than we could. Want to thank City Manager John Campbell and his city staff that are here this evening. We want to recognize several folks in the audience. We have Representative John Lundberg is here, and Representative Tony Shipley from the Tennessee Legislature. And we have County Commissioner Larry Hall. Are there any in these groups that I've missed? Thank you all for being here. We want to thank not only these folks who've been influential, we want to thank the architects, the contractors, the volunteers who've helped pull this together. In just a few minutes, when you walk through the school, you'll see some things in the building that reflect what we think is important about education. you'll see school classrooms that are called neighborhoods. The school classrooms have flexible space so that kids can learn together when appropriate, they can learn together when it's appropriate, and they can learn to socialize together in the spaces. We have spaces designed where teachers can collaborate together, work together for the good of the students. We have places for collaboration with community agencies and with specialists in the area of speech, literacy, math, nurses, counselors, and special education. Education is truly teamwork, and we have designed spaces where the teamwork can happen. We have designed spaces with the parents and community in mind. There are places inside dedicated for after-school childcare. We have spaces for 2 pre-K classrooms. We have places designed specifically for parents to meet as groups and to have individual conferences with their teachers. We've also designed it for the community. I hope you please notice all the amenities that we have. The cafeteria is designed for after-hours meetings, refreshments for PTA meetings, potluck dinners, those kinds of things. The gym is a full-size gym designed for community use, as well as being exactly what we need for elementary PE. And around us, you'll see walking trails and activities of how the school and the community have come together. So please join us in a few minutes for the tour, but we have several folks else that would like to talk to you. But thank you each for coming this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Kitzmiller. At this time, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Susan Lodahl, a friend to all of us here in Kingsport in the education field and the community at large. Mrs. Lodahl is the president of the Board of Education for Kingsport City Schools.
I'd also like to recognize Mr. Bill Snodgrass, who is here as a part of the office of Congressman Phil Rowe, who is on his way to speak to us. So he will be zipping in here in a little bit, and so we're going to be watching for him. But thank you, Bill, for being here too. Laws for the liberal education of youth, especially of the lower class of people, are so extremely wise and useful that to a humane and generous mind, no expense for this purpose would be thought extravagant. These words were written in a pamphlet entitled Thoughts on Government by John Adams in the city of Philadelphia in 1776. John Adams was born in the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1735. He was educated at Harvard University as a lawyer, and he was a delegate to the First and Second Continental Congresses. He married Abigail Smith in 1764. Although Abigail had no formal education, she was an intelligent woman who loved to read, observe the world around her, and thus educated herself, and she became an advocate for the education of girls. Her many letters to her husband and family provide a window into the love and support that Abigail and John gave to each other throughout their marriage. John Adams served 2 terms as vice president under George Washington, and he became the 2nd president of the United States. He served from 1797 to 1801. John and Abigail Adams were the parents of the 6th president of the United States, John Quincy Adams. Some words spoken by John Adams to his grandsons, George Washington Adams and John Adams II, on May 3rd of 1815. I wish you to have each a pencil book always in your pocket, by which you may minute on the spot any remarkable thing you may see or hear. A pocket inkhorn, any cheap thing of the kind, and a sheet or 2 of paper ought always to be about you. A journal, a diary is indispensable. Without a minute diary, your travels will be no better than the flight of birds through the air. They will leave no trace behind them. Whatever you write, preserve. I have burned bushels of my silly notes in fits of impatience and humiliation, which I would now give anything to recover. So early in our nation's history, school supplies were already a topic of discussion in our nation's families. Welcome to the dedication of our newest school in Kingsport, John Adams Elementary School. It is my great honor to introduce to you my fellow board members on the Kingsport Board of Education. First, Mr. Wally Boyd, who's our vice president and past president of the board. Our current members include past president Dr. Randy Montgomery, over here. Miss Cheryl Harvey, over here. And Miss Carrie Upshaw. Recent board members also were involved in the planning and decision-making for this new school, and I would like to recognize them as well. Mr. Ron George was the school board representative to the John Adams Advisory Council, and I know he's here. Ron, wave. There you are. Right. And also our past president, Ms. Pat Turner. I would like to thank each of them for their tireless efforts in serving as board members and their enthusiastic support for this new facility. I'm going to close now with a final message from John Adams. And liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people who have a right from the frame of their nature to knowledge, as their great Creator, who does nothing in vain, has given them understandings and a desire to know. But besides this, they have a right, an indisputable, unalienable, indefeasible divine right to the most dreaded and envied kind of knowledge. I mean of the characters and conduct of their rulers. Congratulations on the opening of this newest addition to Kingsport City Schools, John Adams Elementary.
Thank you, Mrs. Lodahl. At this time, I would like to welcome Dennis Ward, representing Barge, Wagner, Cannon, and Sumner.
Isn't this a beautiful day and a great day? 3 years ago, I stood about right in this area and looking at a beautiful meadow behind us. And I think everyone agree that since that time, that view's been enhanced by not only this new school, but also the Edinburgh development. On behalf of the employees of Barge, Wagner, Sumner, and Cannon, we really appreciate the opportunity to work with the City of Kingsport and Kingsport School Board of Education. Yes, we're local. We got some offices spread all over the place, but we're local. I also like to thank special thanks to Rick Russell, the city's representative, DLR, the Edinburgh Group, J.A. Street Associates, Ron Jones with our firm, who recently retired and was started on this project. And a special thanks to an employee of ours is Terry Cox. Terry, wave your hand. Terry devoted his entire self to making this project a reality, and I just want to single him out and tell him that we really appreciate what he's done, and we're very, very proud to be here tonight. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. At this time, I'd like to welcome Jim French, who is representing the DLR Group.
It's a pleasure for me to be here today. DLR Group again would like to thank the city, Dr. Kitzmiller, his staff, the school board for us having an opportunity to be here. I'm from Kansas City, and I get an opportunity to travel all over the United States and design schools for school districts. This is my second school I've designed in the state of Tennessee, and I'm not sure what it is about Tennessee that makes me want to come back here all the time. I don't know if it's the beautiful countryside. I know that when we got together with the design team to design this school, everybody was very concerned about how the school would fit into this development. One of the things that's unique about this school is the roof structure, because if you notice as you drive around the school, you actually can see the top of the school, so the design team was concerned about that. I think really what's my favorite part about Tennessee is the people and the passion that your teachers, your administrators have for education, because that's not necessarily the case all over the United States where we go. I can't tell the kids how many countless hours that the staff helped us design this school, gave us input. Probably the most unique thing about this school isn't necessarily probably the kindergarten classrooms that the design team wanted to make sure when the kids first come to school that it seems like their own little house at home. It's probably not the really neat views up at the media center that you'll see, even though it's important that the kids get different perspectives. It's probably not the really big, large gym. It really, in my opinion, is the classrooms. Dr. Kitzmiller mentioned the fact that Today's education is about collaboration and teamwork. You're one of the very few school districts that I've designed a school for where your teachers said from the very beginning, we want to work collaboratively with our teammates and our fellow teachers to teach your students. So there's 4 classroom teachers that are continually collaborating and working with your students, and I think that's one of the very unique things about this school. The one thing I would tell the students that are here is make sure you give your mom and dad an extra hug tonight when you go home, because their tax dollars actually go to help pay for this school that you get to go into. And I'll also tell you, when you come here, make sure you study really hard, because you really are the future of our country. When you think about the facts that you're going to have to deal with the depletion of our fossil fuels and some of those things, we're counting on you guys to make sure that stuff happens. So make sure you come here and study hard. So again, thanks again for everybody that was a part of the design team, Ron and Barge Wagner, Summer Ken. We appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this team, and this is a very unique school that I hold very dearly in my heart, and appreciate being here. So thanks again.
At this time, I'd like for some very special people to come forward, and actually the first group of people who I'm inviting to the front don't know they're being invited at this time, but could I have the 4th and 5th grade teachers to come up, please? I want you to be here to support your students as they share with us some of their thoughts and writings about their new school. And I'm very grateful to these ladies, because they embraced this with excitement, and their children were excited about also sharing with you their views and actually putting a little humor in it too. So we're really proud of them. At this time, I'd like to ask the boys and girls who are going to participate just to come forward. I want to thank each of you for doing this, because it takes a lot of bravery to come up and talk in front of a lot of people. And I'm just going to pass the microphone around, and if you will just introduce yourself and go ahead and share with us what you want to share tonight.
My name is Marcy.
And my name is Emily.
We are in Miss Nash's 5th grade class. We want to tell you about some of our favorite things about John Adams. We hope you enjoy this poem.
Have you seen the gym at John Adams School?
Wow, it is so fun and cool.
Art is exciting because we get to make pottery.
All in all, it's like we've won the lottery.
We really love the playground.
The slides are really great.
It's a blast to make friends with our new classmates.
The school is very cool. The only thing missing is a swimming pool.
But wait, there is a lovely pond of which we are very fond.
Thanks for coming to help us celebrate the dedication of John Adams Elementary.